couldn't get my headset to turn on. If I have it hooked to my phone or my iPad or my other computer, I have to go back and undo all of them and then start over again.
Oh my gosh, what a pain. I like your new headset though.
Amazon special.
Well, the reason why I say that is I'm not going to pick on you, Eddie. I don't mean it to sound like picking on you, but for a while we were getting a lot of static in the background. Since you got your headset, the static's gone away. I'm not sure whether it was you or somebody else, but the static has gone away. It was a very low static and probably nobody noticed it, but as I was processing the recordings, I was stripping out the static, and so I noticed it.
Yeah, I think it was the home, the laptop here that was doing it, and told the wife I need a new one, but that ain't going anywhere.
I know where that's going.
Yeah, in fact, we met with some folks at clinic today, and effective tomorrow, I will no longer be doing YouTube's sales or anything else.
Oh.
This is the only thing I will be doing.
Oh.
Effective tomorrow. And that is with conditions. Excuse me.
We're all sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Eddie, you muted if you're trying to talk to us.
I think he's taking a phone call. Looks like he's on the phone.
That would make, yeah. That makes sense.
Well, since no one's talking, I had this huge leaf fall out of my tree. Has anybody ever turned jacaranda?
Yeah.
Yeah? How is it?
I don't think I liked it.
Okay.
I have to find the piece I turned out of it. It's not big. It's like a salt cellar. But you know what? I did that on my ornamental lathe, not on my regular spinning lathe.
Okay.
Which doesn't give a good evaluation because you take those big kits at like 30,000 RPMs. So that's, it's like comparing a routed bit to a plain iron,
So you were interrupted. What kind of conditions have you got, Eddie?
Let's see, if you combine the liver and the pancreas together, and then part of my brain is starting to fail again, then that's the problem. And it's the part of my brain failing again. It's not telling those other things what to do. And essentially it says I cannot have any stress whatsoever. So I for 10, 12 years, I've been married to one of these things, not to her, I'm married to her, but married to one of these things. I'm told to leave it down. Don't carry it around. My wife says, no. If we go someplace and we could be separated, I have to have it. If she goes someplace and we got to be separated, I have to have it. That's it. I'm with the best medical center in the entire world, my opinion. And we've had regular meetings. Way too regular. Had a little procedure done yesterday that. Whew. But it'll all get better. It will all get better. You can't keep crabgrass down, that's for sure. And I'm rather enjoying the aqua size, and I can do the aqua size. That was a condition. In fact, I have to do the aqua size. I enjoy it so much.
Hey,
Every day
Eddie.
you go, every day you meet somebody. Hey,
Hey, let's see if we can find Tom in East Tennessee. He says he's got a tree limb he needs identified.
Tom in East Tennessee.
Tom, can you talk to us?
Tom, I can see your name on the screen, but I can't see you. You can pop on. Let me see something. That's Donald. There he is, Tom in East Tennessee. All right, Tom, I don't hear.
You're
Oh,
muted.
Tom.
Oh, there he is.
Sorry about that. I'm so used to being muted all the time. Okay, a neighbor's tree dropped a limb, and we're wondering what kind of tree it is that I'm trying to turn. First off, it's in the maple family. Looks like that. That is, let's see if I can turn it the right way. That's as big as any of the leaves on the tree. And I'm not a big guy. I'm only 5'6". So that's it. It makes leaves that size. This is a huge tree too. This is a chunk of limb right here. It's got lichen and stuff on it, but that's what the bark looks like without the lichen.
All right. May I offer something, Tom?
Go ahead.
I'd like to show that to Cade Bozier when Cade's with us later on this evening.
Okay.
Because when you held up the magnolia leaf, I thought thinking that's Cade wood. You know,
It's not that far north though.
that's okay. You know, hey, if it's got bark, he probably turns it.
No doubt.
Yeah, but that it may better identified because I think it looks like a sugar maple, but for us to get maple down here, I have to buy it at Home Depot in 1x4s. So, you know, and it's terrible, but it's the truth in the New Orleans area. There is no place to buy any decent wood down here. We lost 2 really good lumber yards or suppliers in the last 5 years or so, and there's nobody stepping up. So, but we'll show it when Kate comes in. I'll remind you.
That'll be great.
All
Thank
right, because that's what we do around here.
Hey, sorry
Sure,
guys,
yeah.
I just
Maple, what kind of maple it is, nobody knows.
Yeah,
I
Sure,
just
you
jumped in and I've been. Could I see the piece?
yeah. Go ahead. Hey, Tom, show him.
The piece of the limb. Somebody find me again.
Yeah, I got you now.
Spotlight me. That looks like Donald. Oh, there we go. Looks like that.
What's the inside look like? Okay,
Looks like, I don't know how well you can see that.
not very well. You think it's a maple?
Yeah, well, yeah,
I'm sorry, I missed that.
Take a look at the leaf.
here's the leaf.
Oh yeah, that's a silver maple. Silver maple.
Okay, that was what my guess was.
Yeah, I got a big one of those in my front yard. So yep.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
listen for the chainsaw.
I'm watching it carefully, and I have to negotiate that with my ex-wife. So.
All right. There's no negotiating, just settling.
well, thank
Well,
you
she
for
knows
sharing.
we actually, I got some pieces of it myself. I don't know, about a month ago, we had it trimmed. So, yeah. Yeah, but
Okay.
I've been sort of carefully watching the difference between sugar maple, silver maple, red maple, which are my 3 common maples here. So I'm pretty conversant with the differences in the leaves and everything. So yeah, that's silver maple.
Okay, well, I got a bunch of free silver maple coming my way.
There you go.
Good. All right.
Pass it
Getting
out.
wood turner, getting free wood. All right. Hey, Brenda,
Yeah.
what do you see in that?
Lost
Whoops.
Donald.
Oh. How you like that? Lasered into 4x4 tiles.
Cole.
Yeah, I've been restrictions. I've been in here playing a little bit the last couple of days. My youngest daughter, who's kind of medically incapacitated at the time, her and the two girls, I wanted to bring them something because, yeah, you have to, you should. Be a nice thing to do. And her oldest daughter is a volleyball nut, and her team is in the runoffs for the whole district. In fact, they're setting a pace, not just in the runoffs. They're setting a pace, which is really nice. Can't wait to see her. And she's about 6 inches taller than her mom. Mom says something wrong. She just looks down. She says, "What?" Yeah. All right. Dane Channel will be with us this evening. He'll be on about 6 o'clock Central in a few minutes. He's traveling a little, but I think he'll be at a home base this evening with us. And I believe, oh, wait, let me see if I can get the, David Swain's going to be doing our demonstration for us tonight.
Oh.
So, welcome, David. Yeah, I think that's David right there.
Yeah. You see the blank sitting in my facial area.
All right.
That's it.
Eddie, you might want to do a mute all. We've got one member that's popping in and out with some background noise. That'll be.
Okay, everybody, I just muted all. So if you want to talk, you need to press your space bar or unmute yourself. It's just so we cancel out background sounds. And I've seen that issue of Jeopardy already. It's all right. And I just turned on the live transcript, and I'm going to hide it. But one of our members asked that go up. All right. And Gary is having some problem getting into the contact list, so David's going to work on that for him. That's what we do, folks. It's one of those free things that we offer. I realized today, whoops, I got to do this. I realized today, looking at my Facebook thing, that 3 years ago today, I issued a statement on Facebook that said, pardon me, we were going to create this. 3 years ago today, I put that on there, and I talked to all my wood turning buddies, many of them with us right now, and said, will this work? And they said, yes, it will work. Dayton, I got to turn you off, sir. You're screen sharing. But I asked my friends, would this work? And they all agreed, yes, let's go. And that's what we did. And this is 3 years now. We became a real club in about 2 weeks when we had our first meeting. And it was a face-to-face meeting. Y'all might have missed it.
Hey, Eddie.
Yes, sir. Hey, David. Yes, sir.
Yes. Wasn't that when you sent that out that you was meeting at a restaurant?
Yes, we were. We met at a Piccadilly's.
Yeah, well, I've been there. I've been there with you ever since then.
Yeah. Oh, look, some of your faces are so familiar. I mean, I think 2 weeks ago at SWAT, I had 5 or 6 spies at SWAT, or members helping us out, and they said they saw people all the way across the room. Says, I know him. And that's the beauty of what we're doing. I mean, I've got friends in Australia. That's where Donald's at. I have friends in Great Britain. That's where Martin's at. I have a friend in Vietnam. That's where Phom Nang Trong is. Those are all family members. And it's so good to have that family. It really is. It's like a family reunion with family you like. Having looked at the roster.
Eddie, I think that the meetings have been consistently good too, and it's just there's a lot of information, a lot of people sharing stuff. It's great.
Oh yeah, they're stepping forward in a couple. I got to talk to Dane about this in a couple of weeks. We're going to do another round of the tips and tricks because that one.
This is one of the nicest things I've ever come across. Thank you very much.
Well, you're more than welcome, sir. Well, you keep talking, I'm going to raise your rate. It's going to go from absolutely free to absolutely positively free. It was a chance, and because of wood turners, we took the chance, and I love it. I love it. This is so great. But I've never blinked at helping wood turners because you get such great results when you talk with somebody or work with somebody that's got the same love you have. It's just nice to have that escape. You know, I'm told I should throttle back on social media, but you know, I don't get upset over it. Yeah, it's not like I have to live with it, and my kids and grandkids all love it. So that's the way I stay in touch with them because they're way too busy to come visit Big Guy. I asked one of my granddaughters, "You know where I live at?" She says, "No." Kind of give me the address again. And she practically grew up in this place. So, been having a little fun playing on a laser this week. I want to crank the lathe up, but there's some restrictions. So, but I have a new turner. In fact, we had to hire a lawn guy because that's one of my no-nos. And Tommy is, it's like looking in a mirror when I'm talking to him. I mean, the other day he said, "Have you used a laser cutter?" I said, "Sure, I got one." And he said, "You got a wire welder?" "Yep." "You got a sandblaster?" "Yep." "Airless paint?" "Yep." "Powder gun?" "Yep." And he says, "My God, it's like looking in my garage." And we went by his house. He lives about a mile away from us. Yeah, it's like looking in his garage. He does the same thing I used to do day in and day out. But he's a registered nurse, and he decided to give up chasing or helping people in the hospital, and he went to doing lawn work full time. And a really nice guy. He used to take care, or he does take care of the lawn next door. And Cindy went out to ask him if he could recommend anybody. And before they got done negotiating, he was cutting the lawn. And he's got a really powerful hydraulic thing. And I wanted one of those zero steers. Didn't get it. If I got that now, I'd just be hauling the trash around. All right. Let's see. Well, I know Matt's back tonight that we hadn't seen. Brenda's in, and Brenda, that bowl you talked about the other day with the, we saw it last week with a really unique spalting.
The vase.
The vase. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. You didn't see that vase. You didn't see the piece I'm talking about because you were not here last week.
No, I wasn't here.
No, I'm gonna see if I can pop in here and find a photograph of that. Because I used it on a promo this week.
Captain, if y'all don't make me a co-host, I'll help folks come on in.
Done deal, sir. All right.
I can do the same.
I thought I had you in there, Matt. Oh, I didn't. Okay, I didn't confirm it. There's a whole pile of y'all I didn't confirm. All right.
That's really nice, Brenda. Very nice.
Nice, Brenda.
Good finish on that
Pretty,
one.
that's pretty, Brenda. I like the flowers too.
Nice
Yeah, I cut those out of my yard.
Pretty wood,
Yeah,
and it's
pretty.
shiny.
Yes. Check this
What'd
out.
you use for a finish?
3408. Look, it's got a water bottle inside.
Well,
There you go.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works good.
I've been working out at a house that my sister-in-law bought. We've been cleaning it out and refinishing it and stuff, you know, and there's a wood pile out back. I picked up a log. Turns out it's a piece of cherry.
Beautiful.
Nice choice.
Yeah.
Brenda, I want to show you.
It was worth going over there, wasn't it?
Yes. I go over there every day.
Brenda,
Right from Utah.
I tell all my friends, if I'm coming over to your house, first thing I'm doing is looking through your wood piles.
There you go.
Yeah.
Here you go, Brenda.
Oh, pretty.
Oh, yes, that piece. Yes.
That is gorgeous. It's one of
The
several
brochure is
views.
nice.
Last week, the wood turner showed us, and he had it on a turntable, and it was absolutely beautiful. I mean, I see a bear, a hawk, a anaconda snake, a Rocky Mountain. You know,
You done
I'm
got
gonna-
her started, Captain.
I seen that on Facebook. I seen that on Facebook and seen, let's see, a bird and I forget what else it was now.
Okay,
Yeah.
so just so y'all know, folks, this happens every week.
Uh-huh. And now Eddie's doing it without me.
It's actually, it scares me. As a guy was showing it last week, I wasn't alone. As a guy was showing it last week, the wood turner, a whole bunch of y'all jumped in on it. So whatever you have, Brenda, is contagious because all these wood turners are jumping in.
Wasn't that Birdhouse Bob that did that?
No, I don't think it was Birdhouse Bob.
No?
And I'm not tagging names on photographs right now because I'm bringing them off of another computer and throwing them into this one. And the names don't travel. The codes travel.
I see.
But I have enough. I should have came back and produced a promo this evening. Because I have almost enough photographs, which is the thing. If I don't have the photographs, we can't do the promos, which is where we show everybody what's going on. So if you got photographs, I know I got some stuff in this week from Doug Miller. Beautiful piece, Doug. Beautiful. In fact, Doug, my wife was looking at it. She said, "Look at the shine. Look at the color of that thing." And that was that piece that you had that was like one-sided. Can it be one-sided? Yeah. It really came out nice. And I had some from Bob Moffett and David Swain. Always getting stuff from David Swain. That's why I'm really loving that he's going to be doing our demo tonight. But there's room for the rest of you, really. I could do those demos without pressure on it. I can do them every single day, sitting on a veranda. It's a front porch here. And it only takes a few minutes. The program is there. I insert your photographs, do a little, and it's gone. And I put it on the club channel, my channel, Facebook, put a club, Facebook for me, and somebody else gets a copy of it. I can't remember who it is. But I ask you, if you see it on any of those, share it with your group, your subscribers. Share it with them. That's how we get it out there. And because Facebook changed their policy, if I share it, it only goes, I think, 25 people or whatever, unless I target you. So, think about that. It's bringing a club. SWAT brought us a lot of new members, and we'd like to see some more folks. That's what it's all about. I was talking to Ronnie yesterday, and we're chatting a little bit about laser work because of his legs giving him a problem. That's what he's doing now. And we did some boxes. I hadn't done a box before, but I found out that there's a program on the internet called boxes.py, and it's got a chart. You plug in the details what you want. I'm doing these for coasters, and I put in the details and the thickness of the material and such, and it gives you the cut, gives you the complete program. And I'm thinking, how good can this be? and this is not put together right, but they lock together. I mean, lock together. And I asked Ronnie, I said, do you put any glue on it? He said, yeah, I put a couple of drops of 3408. Yeah, he said, I don't resist that. I put a couple of drops of 3408 on there because somebody will say, does this come apart? You know, your wood turners, you know somebody's going to stick your finger down the side of anything you turn to see. Is that smooth on the inside? That's why if you show something, it better be right. Show it to another wood turner.
Yep. So you make the finger hole too small for them to get too far in, or you got to make sure it's sanded.
I saw him take at a club meeting one time. Oh, South Carolina. I was there for a visit, and a guy reached inside to get a piece, and they were out. And they were it was at a school. They were in the kitchen trying to find butter. It was in there. And he had it under his arm, and he was pulling on it when somebody said, "Wait. We'll put the whole thing in the freezer." And why? Because right now you've got it swollen up, so that we have to reduce some swelling. I think I was a doctor. He knew what he was talking about. But the fun thing is, the guy says, okay, we're going to take care of it. But first, I want you to walk around and show everybody the piece that you have.
Wally Dickerman used to talk about doing hollow form. And if you can't hollow through a small enough hole, add a piece on top so that you can't get a finger in there.
Yeah, a stack of Joe and Jordan did that at a demonstration. He had a hole about, maybe an inch and a half round that he went through with a stabilized bar hollower with the laser and all on it. And I hadn't seen one of those. This is 25 years ago. I hadn't seen one of those work very well. And he did that. And then he turned a piece of Coca-Cola and right down on top of it, closed it up to where you can see in it. But you couldn't put your finger in.
That's a lovely idea. I really, really like that idea.
It's mean.
Yeah.
How are you supposed to be able to find out if you sanded inside?
Yeah. And I had somebody say, did you sand in there? You'll never know. Yeah. Who's that? Manleo at Comcast is, do I have any cutters left for sale? If you call my boss, she might be able to do something for you, but no more internet, none of that. If there's something, she'll take care of it. I have a couple of hundred. I'm not worried about it. I was going to find a scout troop or a wood turning club that would take these are all for 3/8 inch bars. They go out the door tomorrow. It's okay with me.
Yeah, maybe I'll make you a deal for that.
Okay. All right. Give boss a call tomorrow. My number's on my website.
Right.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm the Okinawa guy.
Manalagati?
No, Okinawa, Kadena.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Kadena.
Yeah.
The B-52 haven in the middle of the ocean.
Good to have you here.
I ran across somebody at clinic the other day that I was with on Guam in 72. And he recognized me. That was a pleasure. That was 50 years ago. But he was right next to me and he said, "You're Captain Eddie." I said, "Yeah." I don't have my name anywhere. But he had seen the meetings and the shows and bumped into me at the club where I go swimming for an hour and a half every day. Boy, nice. Y'all really onto this chat tonight. Jump in there, put it up. We have an events calendar on our website handled by our webmaster, David. And it lists wood turning events around the world. And I had a call from somebody earlier or late last week that said, look, I have a pay-per-view coming up for my club. I wish I could advertise it with you. Yeah, you can put it in chat, and that goes out on our website, or you can put it in chat, and that'll go to David Rhodes, who's our webmaster, and it'll go on our website. And there are no limits, no restrictions. We ask it not be commercial, that it be an informational piece about wood turning. And I say commercial is, I don't want the whole thing to be around, I'm using Doug's tools. Can't say that. I'm using somebody's tools to do all this turning, and you have to have this to do that. Here's the deal. If you got this, you can pretty much do anything. And I'm a firm believer of that. Last week, we talked about sharpening. Remember, Cade showed us a double relief or a single, an Ellsworth type grind, and relieved the back of the shoulder, the heel. Is that what you call it? He said he softened the heel so it didn't bruise the wood when you made sharp corners. That's a key, but I learned that from Ellie Avicera at Aramont, because he would reduce that edge to where he had maybe an eighth of an inch, maybe an eighth of an inch of actual bevel, and everything else was relieved. And he can make really nice corners and cuts. And he wasn't hindered by the rest of that bevel. And for novice turners, you're going to say hindered. I need that bevel to guide me. You know, as your hand-eye coordination improves, and you turn and you test yourself, and I'm testing yourself. Don't turn a project. Turn an experience. Study the technique. You do that and you'll learn that you can run that with that little bitty micro bevel, because your mind will know when to turn and when to not turn it, when you're making contact, etc. And if you do that, you'll make better, sharper cuts and cleaner cuts, and it'll come off a whole lot nicer. When I learned it from Ellie, he then stripped up a piece of ebony, put it in a 24-36 one way, and made a 12 or 14 inch barbel that was pencil lead thin with little wine glass cup to give away at an auction. And he did it with a 3/8 inch hole gouge with that sharpening on it, just to show us it could be done. Now, I came back and immediately modified my Blackhawk sharpening rig. I had the 247 pin numbers that David Ellsworth came up with. The 2 is how much it sticks out of the jig. The 4 is how much the pocket is from the center of the arbor down. And the 7 is the distance from the face of the wheel to the pin, the rising pin. So you had the 2, the 4, and the 7. And with that math, you can generate David Ellsworth's Ellsworth grind, or the Irish grind, exactly. And if you're off a little bit, it really doesn't matter. If you say, well, I can't get this, can't get that. If you have a jig or a rig that you can accomplish that grind every time, it doesn't matter if you're a degree or so off. What matters is if you have to be able to do it every time. So when you get used to bananas instead of apples, you don't need apples. You know, you can just make that pass. You get used to it. And that's why I harp on, have a sharpening jig or rig for your grinder. It can be shop-made wood, just with the slide that goes underneath it. It can be one of the dozen that are put up on an angle in a sort of a diamond shape. It can be any of those. What you really want to have to do the Ellie Avicera relief on it is you go to 247. That's where you do your elliptical grind, and then you step forward about 2 inches, and it changes the face of the grind the angle of the grind to the grinder. So here's your bevel that you like, and this is the one you're going to remove. And you just remove it back to where you have down to a small piece. And that's what you do. You have that setting. You put your guide in and you lock it down and you do the one backspin. And that's all I have to ever do, one backspin. I don't need to grinding back and forth, just throwing steel on the floor, and I paid for that. One good swipe, and then I step up and relieve a little bit. And that I'm ready to go back to turn. There's nothing else. I've sharpened the teeth. I have it smiling at me, and I can make that pass. Now, I know I'm using CBN wheels. Doesn't really matter. I can use carbon. I've got carbine on my other machine. Doesn't matter what I'm using. If I keep the 247, then the grind will be every time. So we were talking a while back when I was making a jig. I had a sleeve that went along the bar. I had one for my bowl gouge. I had one for my roughing gouge. I had the Ellsworth grind, and they all had a sleeve I called an AccuSet. And I could put it in there and get it to the right dimensions, put the sleeve on it, tighten it down a little bit. And if I pulled it out and put the roughing gouge one in, which had the same type of sleeve, I could do the 45-degree grind on a roughing gouge, pull that one out, put the Ellsworth adversarial on there, and I didn't have to reset it. It went to that sleeve and stopped. So you don't have a sleeve. Do you have a drill bit? Yeah. Put it in there, get it to the right space, drill a hole right in front of where it would stop, and then put a finish nail through it. Just slipping in there. So when you go back, every time it'll drop into that spot. And if you're grinding the face off your grinding wheel so much that you got to worry about that dimension changing, you're over grinding, really. It's in my humble opinion. That's number one. Number two, you know all that stuff people keep saying about you have to have a slow speed grinder? You might have said it. He might have said it over there. There's a lot of people talking about that slow speed grinder. I've got a Delta GR 450 grinder right over here. That's the one right there. And it's about 20 years old or so. And it went underwater in the Ida storm last year. And I got it out and I dried it out. And I mean, they're sharpening stuff. And I said, well, I'm going to increase the speed. That's when I found out I lost low speed. I was on high speed. And it did the way I just talked to you about sharpening, that's how it worked. And then I realized, wait, slow speed grinding is if you grind and grind and grind and grind, and you're throwing all this steel on the floor, that's a good slow speed grinder. But if you got a 3,400 RPM grinder and you make one pass and you tighten the nut on the end of the handle, that's you. Tighten up the nut and make a pass, and you control the pass. That's all you need. Matt says it's going to use a $35 Harbor Freight. Isn't that something? He went and spent that much money on a grinder, and it works out great for him. But if you get tied into this thing to where you have to have this and you have to have that, you really can't have this. That's how it gets. So with Worldwide Woodturners, our goal is to eliminate those rumors. It's not true. It's not. It's what you may like to have, but it's not what you need to have.
And the bottom line is you can be successful with anything. And I mean, we've been over. I mean, I've shown you guys a couple times how I hone my tools a lot, and that gets me through every day. You know, in general. And so you can make that cheap Harbor Freight grinder work, and not lose a lot of steel doing it. you know, and if you've got the budget and you want to go whole hog, more power to you.
Yeah. Now, I'm still cleaning up. It's been a year since that storm, and I was out there cleaning up the other day because Tom, the lawn guy, I'm going to give him some tools, and I found a diamond stone. My daddy called them a steel that they use in the butcher shop to improve the edge on a knife. And my daddy always said, you don't grind a meat knife, you steel it. And you always improve the edge, you don't change the edge. And he'd sharpen a boning knife and it would be like heaven going through something. I found one the other day, it's about 6 inches long, a little red handle on it. And I'm wanting to sharpen this really nice pocket knife somebody gave me a long time ago. And I was sitting here the other day talking on the phone and I'm just lapping it. And then I went to open a box and yeah, I'm going to grab the pocket knife of the box, slid the whole top off the thing. Whoa, isn't that something? I mean, that sucker was sharp. You know, I want to say, hey, Dad, you taught me good in that old kitchen, you know, because he came up in a depression. He learned how to be a butcher the hard way.
Hey, Eddie,
Yes, ma'am.
you want to do some demo or some gallery?
Oh, yeah, gallery. Who you got?
Doug Miller.
All right.
Who's that?
Doug. There he is. The outlaw's back. Okay.
Yeah.
Making us with Doug.
I was watching some videos and just letting it run through. Let me switch over here. There we go. I was watching some videos and just let it run through. And it was a Rockler show on YouTube, but they had Jeff Hornig on there. Jeff is walnut log, sells all kinds of stuff. He's also a demonstrator. And his real claim to fame is finishes. And knowing the differences between finishes, he's done a good bit of research in various finishes. But one of the things he's been doing of late that's kind of gotten him some notoriety is the Moroccan blue bowls. So, and that's what he was doing on this demo for Rockler. Well, I watched it very carefully.
Oh my goodness.
Oh no.
That
I
is
mean,
absolutely gorgeous.
Wow.
That's
somebody
all
wiped the
done.
drool off of Bob Moffat's jaw.
That's awesome, Doug.
That's all
kind of
done with. I use my 1/2 inch bowl gouge, and my Sorby mini texturing tool. That's the only two tools I use the whole thing. Well, I use my skew. There's a straight line to divide the texturing lines, and I did that with my skew.
Just
That's
But-
kind of pretty, Doug.
That is
That's
gorgeous.
really nice.
Yeah, it is really
Very
nice.
Paint, it's use some blue enamel spray paint, and then silver embellishing wax. I thought I had some white, but I don't have any white, so I used silver instead, and it came out okay. A couple
No, that
of things
looks
I
great.
learned on it, and a couple of things I'll change next time. But
What kind of wood?
some of y'all gonna hate me. This is box elder.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
It had,
Okay. Who
it
knows
had
how to
two-
disconnect him?
it only had 2 streaks of red in it, and it wasn't very bright. It was kind of a faded.
that's a terrible
pink
job,
looking.
Doug. Send it to my house.
Yeah, no, it's got to be destroyed
Okay, send it out.
carefully. There you go. I was trying to get it where you could see this top line here. You couldn't hardly see it. That's probably the faintest line in the whole thing.
Well, I like the way you have the hatching or the spiraling. You're going positive and negative, positive, negative, then positive, and that really offsets it. Really does.
Yeah, I tried to do it in both directions. I really like these two. Makes a nice chevron. Got it here, but they're a little different from each other there. Anyway, it was fun. Good experiment. The next one will be better.
Oh, it's
All
beautiful.
right.
I don't see how you can top that.
Oh,
Yeah,
Well,
Jeff-
I trust. I trust
Yeah,
he'll
Jeff-
try.
I put
Jeff
sanding
uses-
sealer on the back side of this, and I should not have.
Mm-mm-mm. That's gorgeous.
Jeff typically uses the Hampshire Sheen products for that, doesn't he? He uses the intrinsic colors and the embellishing waxes.
Yes, yes.
Yep.
And that's what I started to do, but because I had put the sanding sealer on the backside, the intrinsic colors just beat it up.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yep. So, Andy Dandy spray can of blue paint. It works. It works.
It
It
did
is
indeed.
beautiful.
Very, very sharp.
Very nice. Very nice.
I'll be looking for a photograph, Doug.
Yes, sir.
Really,
Yes, sir.
Thanks,
that is
Doug.
so nice.
That's it for me this week.
All right.
And that
See
just came
what,
off the lathe about 2 hours ago. So
Who's that? Tom Kenny?
That's
Yeah.
me. Can you hear me?
What you got this week?
I made a little sphere out of walnut. And
I saw that yesterday.
a little
Goodness, that's beautiful.
the little pedestal is one of those oak table legs that I showed a couple weeks ago. But the oak was just a cutoff that we had picked up. It might have been at SWAT a couple years ago, and it had a couple of cracks, so there wasn't a whole lot of good usable wood. But the one piece that was good had a little bit of figure in it. And actually, I saw this idea online, and I often print things out. I have a little folder of inspiration, and when I want to go out to the shop and do something, I pull something out of that folder and make it. And that's what this is. The bottom is black leather dye, and you can see a little bit of the grain through it. The one that I saw online, he had done it with looked like black lacquer. It was real glossy, and I haven't attached the two pieces yet, so I can still go back and change it. But I was fairly satisfied with the way this one came out.
Yeah, my comment would be the bottom being matte like it is makes the top stand out more, makes the sphere stand out more.
Thank
And
you.
I love it. I mean, folks, if you're looking at it, members, there is not a mark on that sphere. I mean, it is absolutely glass beautiful. And when it was spinning in a light, you'd see any mark at all, and there wasn't any. It's gorgeous.
Yes.
And that was the Parfix 3408, just one coat, and then buffed with the Vonix for the sphere.
Oh, nice.
Beautiful.
very nice
Love the
job.
3408.
Yep. That's
Very
it.
nice.
Thank you.
Nice. Let's see what Dave Kingsley's got.
All right, Dave,
Wow.
speak to us, sir. There he is.
There he is. I working on a maple tree that I had, what was in my backyard.
There you go.
Or my front yard.
Nice.
And finally able to get some shop time. And I went a little thinner.
Ooh.
Oh,
I
very
can
nice.
see that thinner. Yes.
Yeah, I like the shape.
Yes.
It's a little different. And it was a little different trying to keep the thickness on the inside the same as the outside.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got brave and got real thin.
It walked.
Yeah,
Look at that.
worked a
It
little
walked.
bit, yeah. And this one, I was afraid it was going to crack because of that bark inclusion. So I oiled it right away. But I really don't like it. I think I'm going to sand it back because you can see there's this kind of, I don't know, it's not smooth. But at least it didn't
gorgeous to
crack.
me.
Now I can sand it back a little bit and it was something else.
I love that.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Super.
Yeah, I really like this one. It came out really well.
Yes.
I love
like
when
them
you see a
all.
piece walk like that. It only
Yes.
walks if it's thin. So,
And then
oh, I'm sorry, that's not correct. It'll
I
walk
managed to
anyway,
make
but
this. I was real proud of that.
Oh, wow.
Spirals.
I've learned a lot from you guys in how to use my tools, and I really appreciate it.
Yes.
But I'm
yeah,
starting
but
to get some nice fine shavings.
yep. If you get curly cues, you're doing something right.
Yeah. I
And
can
that's
remember
it.
the first time I seen curly cues. I'm like, oh yes, look at this. Really.
I love the shirt you have on, Dave.
Yeah, it's very true.
Yeah, I'm accused of that. She won't answer me if I holler. So, all right.
All right,
We're
let's
doing a
go
little
to
gallery right now. There he is, Joaquin.
Hi, sorry, Doug was on, he's grading papers. So that's why I missed you guys when you called me. Doug Rowe was, he called me because I texted him. I'm like, hey, where are you? I was looking for you tonight. So he's grading school papers. So he'll try to join you later this evening. All right, I lied. I have 3 pieces. So I was just goofing around.
Oh, sweet.
Elm box and Blackwood finial. And my favorite, I'm going to redo this finial, but what I really love is I got this silver embellishing wax. Try to get this better. This silver embellishing wax.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just love this stuff. So I embellish the inside too. And there's some texture in there. My camera's fighting me tonight.
It's cool.
Very nice.
Looks good.
Very
And
nice.
this was a fun, just a fun little, I didn't know what I wanted to turn, so I threw a chunk at them. What I really wanted to show you guys was my witch's cauldron. This is an office cauldron. This is spalted maple, and I used leather dye and carved some foots on the base so it looks like a cast iron. And then this is redwood with a neodymium rare earth magnet in the end. And you put your paper clips in there, and then you just stick the magnet in and pull your paper clips out. So,
Wow.
and there's a perfect little, literally
Cool.
minutes, maybe half an hour tops time spent on the lathe. And you got this great, cute little thing.
To play with on your desk.
Yeah. What I have to show you is when I sent you guys, I posted a picture.
Oh, wow.
This little walnut urn. It's kind of funny that David Swain is presenting tonight because I stole this idea from him. I haven't started thread chasing yet. Mark Soleil gave me a tip on how to do that. So what I did was I went to a local plumbing supply and asked for a 1-inch nipple, brass nipple, and a 1-inch, I don't know what this, coupler.
Coupler.
I put them on the lathe and using my carbide, but you can actually use high-speed steel because it's harder than the brass. You can cut brass with high-speed steel, but it does chew up your blade. So I used my carbide and turned that round, first of all, and then, you know, got my smooth edge and everything. Put that in with 2-part epoxy, put the threads in with 2-part epoxy, and that is hollow to about 3 mil. And I got this nice little urn. It's not very big, but it'll hold 28 cubic inches. 2 cups. 2 cups.
What kind of finish you got on that?
That's 3408 buffed Arnuba wax.
Beautiful.
For those of y'all wondering what 3408 is, it's in the chat right now. Andy just put up a little note on it.
And my favorite part of this, I took Dane, I think you told it about lemon juice on the sapwood to keep the color. I think that was you. Anyway, so I did the sapwood with lemon juice so I keep it lighter. But my favorite part of this whole piece is that line between the sapwood and the heartwood that flowed through the piece.
That is gorgeous.
Yeah, really pretty.
Beautiful.
Love how that worked out.
Yes.
Very nice.
Nice.
That's what I got.
Beautiful piece.
Also, the brass fittings, if you made 6 of them, the lids would fit on any of the 6.
If you did what? I'm saying, sorry, say that again.
With the brass fittings, if you made 6 of those boxes, any lid would fit on any box.
Right, yeah.
It's really neat.
And these fittings, both the coupler and the nipple are both twice the size. I cut them in half. So I bought 2 each and I got 4 urns worth of things. Now, David Swain told me to look into spuds. What do you call them?
Closet spuds.
closet spuds, which are 2 inches and 3 inches, so the bigger. I wanted 1 inch because this urn was intended, unfortunately, for a child that was born deceased. So that was the intention of the small size. But this would be a perfect pet urn, say, at 28 cubic inches, at an inch per pound of body weight. That would serve pets.
Very nice.
Okay. Bob Grinstead just put a note on the chat. A lot of plumbing fittings are tapered thread, and you know that when you tighten up 2 pieces of, say, black iron or galvanized iron together, and it's tapered, at some point you can no longer put any pressure on it because the tapers match the taper. But there are brass parts, etc., that are not tapered. They're SAE straight, and they will. That's why the one you're seeing right here with Joaquin threads down so nicely. It does not have to meet a taper to stop. It meets wood to wood for a stop. It's critical. It's critical that you play with that piece of steel, that those fittings, before you pay for them.
It doesn't meet wood to wood. I screwed up. It doesn't meet wood to wood.
You know what? That's okay.
But you can't see it unless you're inspecting. You can't see it.
No, but it's a nice opportunity for design.
Well, and yeah, I actually kind of like that little highlight. I like that. That if you pick it up and tip it, you see a little glimpse of brass. I like that. I don't see anything with that.
Tell them it's gold. Heck.
Also, if you take the pipe tap and run it all the way through, you'll take the taper out of it.
Okay.
You can rethread it.
Yeah. One thing I will tell you, it says it right on the side of the coupler. This was cast in Thailand. It is not centered. I don't know if you can see it or not. Yeah, you see it's wider here than it is here. Now I opened up my 1 inch jaws inside the threads and turned this perfectly round. But when I put the lid on the lathe, this is not centered. The threads themselves are not centered. And this lid, you can't tell right now off the lathe. But if I were to put this on the lathe and turn the lathe on, this lid jumps almost 1/8 of an inch because the threads are not square to the body of the coupler. So that's just something to think about and consider. I don't know if there was a way that I could have squared those threads up to make it straight all the way through. But when you think about it, when you put it on and you pick the piece up, unless you're sitting there with a micrometer or some very precise measuring tools, you can't tell that's not aligned.
No.
It still looks really good.
Yes. Looks very nice.
It's nice. Very nice.
It's just magical. I can't find Vonex. So if anybody knows where I can get some Vonex, please put it in the chat, but I can't find it. So I just went straight to the carnauba wax and I can't complain. That just really turned out beautiful.
Is it Mark Saleh, a distributor for that Vonex stuff?
Mark was selling it.
Yeah,
He's selling it. I don't have any. I did ask him.
He says he don't have any?
Well, he didn't when I asked him. That doesn't mean he doesn't have any now. I'll have to hit him up again. I talked to him a couple weeks ago, week and a half ago.
Okay. Yeah. Ask him again.
Yeah, I'll hit him up again. He turned me on to something. I can't even remember what he told me about. Every time I talk to Mark, I learn something new.
You do. You do.
Man.
Yeah,
And
very, very knowledgeable guy.
Yes. Yes. Hey, let's go to Safety Sue. You got something?
There she is.
Tim got a kick of what I said I had. I have half of an object to show you.
Half.
Half. I was watching a video by Ray Key, and he does little tiny boxes. And I thought, and I must to watch the video 6 times. So I thought, okay, I can do this. And I got it so that the lid, you see, I've got that's top of the lid. We have a pressure thing there. And I was trying out a new SKU, and lo and behold, there we go.
Ah.
I am going to try it again. This is-
Bummer.
Oh.
but this really is a friction fit, and it lined up perfectly. But you know, it is what it is. A learning.
Man.
The best thing that you said was, I was trying something new.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yep. Nothing wrong with that. Good job. Keep
But,
trying.
oh, and yes, I had all my safety equipment on, but it actually, when the piece came off, it hit me in the hand, but I was good.
Did you
Yeah,
save
no
the
Band-Aid.
piece?
Yes, I did have a Band-Aid on for a day or two.
Did you save the piece?
Yes, I did.
Can you glue it back together?
That's right. That's what I was going to say.
Well, you know, I
Those
was
are the
trying.
pieces that I glue back together and just keep for myself.
Well, I could try it, but I do have the piece. I did save it. It wasn't really fitting on properly because it was being held back with some of the bottom stuff, but I probably could get it matched up and glue it up and see what I could do. But
And you call it antique, brings the price up.
Distress. Distressed is another word.
Distressed. Yes,
Yeah,
that's
distressed.
Distressed. A little bit of milk paint, a little sandpaper, distressed, $50.
There you go.
You can also call it reclaimed, and there's people out there that love buying reclaimed wood.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I could do that. I could do that.
Yes. All right.
And
See,
Sue,
Bob Greenstein.
we're going to visit with Sue just before David Swain's demonstration in about 15 minutes, because Sue's our safety director, and she is really good at what she does for free for the club, and it's beautiful information. Let's go back to where we're going.
We're gonna find Bob.
Hey, hello guys. Still sitting
There he is.
Y'all there?
Bob.
All right. I went to SWAT. You know, everybody loves SWAT. So anyway, I went to SWAT this year and met a few of the guys at my local club down there, and they were looking at different tools, and they found a tool they wanted. This was one of those carving stations. You know, you put your chuck on here. You turn your chuck on this.
Yes. Right.
Okay. And, you know, and tighten it down. Well, anyway, I went, you know, they're like $400, $300 something for one of these things. And I told them I'd make one. And so here's one for a smaller lathe. You know, this has got a, 5/8 inch shaft, but it's easy to put a 1 inch or 1 1/4 inch, whatever size tool rest you have. And then, you know, you can change this out from 1 inch to, you know, 1 1/4 inch. It's hard to find 1 1/4 inch bolt. But anyway, I'm just showing you that you could make these. You know, you don't have to buy that. If you find somebody with a welder, and this is easy to make. Let me pull it apart here, show you the pieces. That's just nothing but a piece of pipe, you know, 1 inch pipe with some lock washers welded on the end of it. You know, I straightened the lock washer to where it fits flat. And this little rub right here helps hold it anyway, so I'm not too worried about it being super straight. And I welded that on a piece of 1 inch pipe and welded the post to sit down in my banjo. And this piece is a bolt. I mean, you know, you buy all this stuff at Tractor Supply, and this piece is nothing but a bolt. And I took another one of those lock washers and welded it on the end of it. And then you take a nut, that 1 inch nut, and drill the threads out and cut it. You know, you cut the indentations here so it locks in here so it won't turn, you know, once it gets down in here. And it comes down far enough to where when you put your shaft back in and you can tighten all this stuff back up and it doesn't move. Anyway, for $26, and your friend with a welder, and you got one of these carving post things. Anyway, that's all I wanted to show you. I just wanted to show everybody, hey, you don't have to buy everything. And it's all expensive. These things are real high, and you can just, if you don't have a welder, find a friend that has, and tell him you want one of these.
I made mine when I saw that $400 price tag at Spot one time. I took a lot of pictures, came back and built one for myself. Not exactly like that, but
this thing,
what does that do? What does that do?
Like if you carve something, let's say you turn something and you want to carve the sides of it, or even if you got a box that you want to carve.
Very good. That's nice.
So you can put, it's still on your chuck, so you can put your chuck on here and turn it down because it's a 1 inch.
Right. That's a great idea. That's great.
And then you can turn it around, turn your deal around, tighten it up, and hold it, and tilt it. And, this thing will tilt whichever way you want to tilt it. And anyway, they're $400 or close to $400 at SWAT, and you can make one for $26.
Great idea, Bob.
We got a question in chat.
Can you send us a photograph first, sir?
Yeah, I'll send you some photographs.
Okay, Bob Hodge wants to know if he bought a bulk order of them, how much, can you work a deal out for him?
No, sorry. I got 4 guys coming over next week to make these, but I don't want to do a bulk order. No.
All right. Thank you, Bob. Appreciate it.
But, otherwise, I'm not going to do a bulk order.
All right, let's find Jim Duxbury.
Oh, wow, that was fast.
Where we at?
Yeah.
Hey
there he is.
There he is.
I don't see him.
Oh.
I see his name.
Now, I got him.
Gotcha.
There we go.
This is a maple ball with mahogany stripes in it and a plug in the end, purple heart and yellow heart. These were the top rims of an elm bowl that didn't work out, and the foot's cherry. But anyway, they called it a bullseye.
That is sweet.
That is cool.
I love it.
Very nice.
Man.
No end to the fun.
The neatest things.
That's great.
Fidget tool. It's a new fidget toy.
And I used all my scrap.
Nice. Nice.
That's a way to use spare pieces of wood to make a sculpture. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, this broke off. I don't know what happened to it, but you just saved the pieces.
Yep. There you go, Sue. Save your pieces and make something like this.
Yeah, see that? You never know. Put a ball in it. You'll have a ball.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as scrap wood. It's just wood you haven't turned yet.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's right.
Yep.
Anyway,
Yep.
I've got a lot more to be turned.
Good.
We can't wait to see it.
Yeah, thank you.
Love some of your stuff, or well, all your stuff, really.
Thank you.
Hey, Jim, we're going to do that tips and tricks again in a couple of weeks. We're waiting for Dane to give us a date. We're going to come back because you stole the show last time we did this.
Oh, really?
Oh, you did. You did.
I got a whole trap full of them. I wish I could show some of those things, but I've got machinery you've never seen. You talked about a grinder. I take my grinder, cut the back out of the guard, and turn it around. And once I shape my tool, I never grind again, I hone. And it makes a much sharper tool, uses 10% of the tool. I got the idea from carvers. Carvers grind their tools to get the shape, and then to touch them up, all they do is hone them. And once you start doing that, you just would never do it any other way.
No,
I put a switch on both sides of the grinder, and I turn the thing around, and I grind from one side, turn around, and hone from the other side. So,
Jim, I think that'd be a good demo for you to do.
Never mind. I know this guy. He's always looking for me. You set me up. Never mind.
Thank you. Thank you, Jim. Appreciate the input tonight.
Yes, thanks.
Well, we don't miss it. We don't miss a chance to line up a demonstrator, do we?
Absolutely not.
Nope.
No, but it's a good idea. Yeah, and he's absolutely right. If you watch a carver,
He's a
I mean,
very
their tools
interesting
are,
guy.
yeah, their tools are razor sharp, and they make those little sweeping curly Q cuts like we saw a little while ago, the curly Qs. And that's what carvers do because they're slicing wood. And that's what we've had Mark Saleh tell us for a while. A gouge is a bad term for what we do. If we're gouging out wood, it's coming out in pieces, chunks, and we're doing some harm to the substrate. If you're slicing, you're doing less harm. That's like asking a doctor to do surgery with a weed eater. You know, you don't want that kind of cut. You'll get that kind of cut when you rough or gouge out instead of slice out. And you can slice with almost any tool in your shop. It's how you hold it, how you address it, how you present it, and it makes for a much better piece. I mean, Jim's actually right. If you hone that thing off, you're gonna have don't check it with your thumb. Whatever you do, don't check it with your thumb.
Yeah.
I think that scar went away. I still got my fingerprints back. Okay.
It uses way less tool too. You're just brushing it. It also lifts a burr. It lifts the burr rather than smashes it into the end. It's a much different grind.
Hey, Jim, I just want you to share your talents. That's what I want.
Oh yeah. Somebody
Just
turned
sharing
you
it down.
Now you said that and somebody turned you off. See that?
All right. Bob, you still connected, Bob? See your screen.
Yeah, I'm on here. Hey.
Okay.
Oh, who are you talking to?
Bob Moffett.
No,
Sir.
not me.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We don't see you, Bob. That's
I'm
the
right
deal.
here.
You black screen. Everybody else, black screen for Bob.
Yep.
Black screen.
There we go.
Yep. Nope, not
You
anymore.
see-
Now
You see
he's
me now?
back.
There he is.
Now we
Yeah,
see you.
I feel like a Verizon commercial. Can you see me now?
Houdini.
I got a couple pieces
got
I
it.
did. this
Wait,
week.
Bob. We want you to see something that you just tuned in. Joined us a few minutes ago. Did you see Doug Miller's piece from earlier?
No, I didn't get a chance to see it.
Doug Miller, pop in here. I can't find.
I got him.
Can't find. Now you got him.
Oh,
Look
that's
at
cool.
that.
Oh, I like that.
And he's got it on both sides.
Now,
Look at
Bob,
nice.
hold on to your heart and hope your pacemaker keeps up. He did this to
I
Bob
tell you.
Zelder.
Whoa.
Just made my phone beep. Well, that's enough to make an old man wish he's young again.
All right, family show.
my goodness.
Okay. What do you have, Bob?
I got a couple pieces I did this week. A little piece here, a little piece of maple I did that I had that had just been sitting around for a while. And I thought, well, I'll just try to do something with it. And I saw that, I think on Facebook or something, but theirs was a lot nicer. And they had a lot of carving on it and did all the outside with a skew.
Oh,
Beautiful.
The shape changed a couple times after I cut some spirals in it, but
turn it
All
around.
right, Sue, you see that's a possibility, Sue. See
Yeah, I
that, Sue?
see that. I see it.
and this little piece of cherry that I did.
Oh my.
Nice.
Very nice.
That is gorgeous.
Love the cherry.
And I got a piece of what was it? Bradford pear that I did.
Oh my.
This had a crack in it. Right in there somewhere. One of those. So I thought, well, I'll just put scallops to cover the crack up.
That is
Take the crack
cool.
away.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I love
Yeah.
her Bradford pear because
Did you measure each one of them? Are they
Yeah.
all the same distance? Look at that, man.
Well, what I did was I took a piece of vinyl that my wife had left over from something or another and just cut that shape right there. And I divided it out, cut that shape and then just use that as a pattern. And went around.
Cool.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Really makes a
Very
good
nice.
accent on it. Does.
Really?
Yes, it does.
That's what I got this week.
Thank
Very
you, Bob.
nice,
Appreciate
very
you sharing.
nice.
Great job, Bob.
Thank you.
Great.
All right. And we got a little information on Vonex and a few other products on the chat tonight. And that's legal for us. If you have something like that you like to share with members, right there, put it in the chat. It'll be there. And before you leave tonight, save the chat. Right now, we're going to pop over to Sue Jilek. She is our safety director. And prior to us going to our demonstrator tonight, Sue, what do you have?
Well, I got a lovely letter from one of our members, and she and her husband are in a local club, and they're the safety reminders in their club. And so she sent me some stuff that they do, and she's concerned about her and I sharing stuff. And as long as it keeps everybody safe, I don't care. So what she gave me, which I think is a great idea, but I think we need to make a list of our own. They went and they created a list that they've encased in plastic for all their members of things that you would check before you start turning. Her and her husband are pilots. And of course, we all know pilots have lists of what they check before they go to the nice blue skies over us. And so she sent me some of the suggestions that their club came up with. But more than that, I want to challenge our members to send me some suggestions. And I'll put if Brenda could put my email in the chat. And the only thing I ask is that in the subject line, write www and then put safety so I know what it is for. One of their suggestions before you even get behind the lathe, are you mentally and physically fit to turn? Are you taking any prescribed or over-the-counter drugs that may cause drowsiness? Have you had any alcohol that could impair your performance? If I have one beer, I don't turn the rest of the day. Are you retreating to your shop because of an emotional disturbance? Family, friends, work? Not a good idea if you are. 3, is your work area clear of obstacles that could cause you to trip? Well, that's a big one because I don't sweep up after every turn. So that kind of resonates with me. Is your lathe work area clear of wires and cables? Is your clothing tight to your body as to prevent catching into the lathe? And are sleeves out of reach of the lathe? Pull back your hair if you have any, and then put a happy face. Remove jewelry, bracelets, and watches. Do you have facial protection like face shield, eyeglasses? This is a good one, guys. Is there a first aid kit nearby? Should always have that close at hand. Is there a fire extinguisher nearby? If you're going to be working many hours, take regular breaks when possible. You don't want to get too tired or sore before taking a break. This can lead to accidents. Also, keep hydrated. If one mistake happens, start thinking about calling it quits for the day. If 2 mistakes happen, definitely stop and call it quits. Remember, you've never seen a smart accident. So I want to thank Michelle Curry and her husband from Michigan for sending me this list. They couldn't watch one of our meetings one day, so she just watched the safety segment. And she liked it so much, she reached out to me. So I hope anybody who has things that they would like to share so that we could make our own list of what we should have or recommend our members members do before they grab that tool and turn on a machine, send it to me, my email address, and I'll start making a list for us so that we can have it for the next meeting.
Good idea. Great
That's-
planning.
Yeah, that's a
And-
pretty good pre-flight checklist right there.
Yeah, and I think that, we could say every week, put on your helmets or your face shield, your dust mask. But there are a lot of other things out there that we need to be aware of. If you're tired, especially if you've been on the lathe for a couple hours, just stop and go take a break, get a glass of iced tea or something. And but most important, we want everybody here next week in a healthy, safe way. So this week, guys, be safe out there and send me your recommendations.
Thank you, Sue.
Yes, I put your
Susan.
email in the chat, Susan. Check it out and make sure I put it in there correctly.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Sue. Sue's
You're
our
welcome.
safety director.
Thank you, Sue.
I attended a club meeting in Southern Tennessee, and there was 4 or 5 different guys doing demonstrations. And their club safety director was in the room, and the first guy stepped up and he was going to show something, and the safety guy says 5, and the guy stopped. He says, okay, 1, this, 2, this, 3, this, 4, 5. Okay. And that guy did it for everybody that turned. Everyone that got up, they're using the same machine in the same place, doing small demonstrations, but he told every one of them, count to 5. In your mind, figure out what your 5 are. And I think the 4th or 5th guy doing a demonstration was in sandals, loose fitting sandals that guys wear when they're too lazy to put the shoes on. And the safe director said, take your sandals off, you can turn, leave your sandals off, you're done. Leave your sandals on, you're done. Because your feet will move in the sandals. And if you're doing a side step to get a move, you could slip off, and that means the tool moves too. Really a great idea. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm a student of the New Orleans public school system. We can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No trouble. So maybe you should try it too. All right. And I lived through going into New Orleans. Right now, it ain't an easy thing to do. David Swain is our demonstrator this evening. David, you're on with us, and David's going to do a little something for us tonight. David, talk to us, and we will link up on you.
There he is.
All right, on the spotlight. Oh, look, folks, members, before we start into this, David is doing the demonstration. If you have questions about the demonstration, please ask. If you have comments or ideas, hold them to the end and we'll all share them together. So right now, David is spinning wood. Go, David.
All right, well, I wanted to bring up, you were talking about the brass fittings. This one is a 4 1/4 inch platform shower drain brass. It's great for big urns. You can turn it easily to get your threads. And this is a closet spud. It's a 2-incher by 2-incher. You can use these for the medium sized or even small urns. I buy them on eBay. I'm a cheapskate. But yeah, I've made several urns out of them already, and they work really, really well. So I just wanted to sneak that in there. Hopefully you can hear my audio. Okay.
Hear you.
Okay.
You're all good.
I've got the screen behind me, so it's hard for me to hear sometimes. I already went ahead and put a parting line in this little box. And I'll just get it off here. Now, I'm a devotee of Richard Raffin, so a lot of this, some of you probably have seen him do. But I probably don't do it as well as he does.
Now, new members, if you're not familiar with this, the lathe David is using is called a Swain Special. Yes, Swain Special. It's available when your other lathe breaks down and you need to have a lathe, you build your own. Right, David?
Yep, especially since your new one, the company canceled your warranty on.
Yeah.
But once I get parted off, when I clean up the front edge, I put a 1 to 2 degree taper inward. That's going to help the edges meet up when you finally put the two pieces together. And it doesn't have to, it's like 1 to 2 degrees is all it is. It doesn't take very much. And then I just, I usually just drill or hollow with my 3/8 gouge. It's not hard. Fun. All right. What's with you today? I'm trying not to get in the way of the camera here. If you're wondering why this is vibrating so much, there's a nice crack in this thing I'm trying to turn out. Good. That edge has to be perfectly straight. Otherwise the lid won't fit for long. It just has to be from top to bottom of that lip. Oh, it's pretty close. Geez, my eyes are better than I thought they were. Yep. Okay, that's good. Now, normally, I have to maybe start with 220, do this part of the lid here, sand lightly inside this first section. Do not use sandpaper on this lip that I turned. You'll tend to make it go oval and it will no longer have straight edges. Then I use my abrasive paste and carnauba wax. That's about all I use on these. That one's a little rough. I don't know why. Now, you get to that point, the secret to these boxes with the lids fitting is this one. The lid will be used to mark the base. And I don't know, Safety Sue might get on me. I leave tools laying all over my lathe. They stay to hand.
Fortunately,
Sue says if you have a nice burden of shavings under it, so they, they drop on something soft.
Well, generally, if it's a sharp tool, it lands on the top of my foot. That's why I wear thick leather shoes. A guy on one of the groups named Bill Woolley left his very sharp skew laying on the lathe, and it came off the lathe due to vibration, and I believe it was 5 or 6 stitches in his leg, right in the foreleg, where it sliced into him and proving it was very sharp.
Yep, I seen that on Facebook. That happened just this week.
Yeah, and I don't like skews anyhow, and that just gives me another reason to leave mine in the rack.
I dropped mine once and cut the power cord to the lathe. Talk about sparks.
I'm aging fast enough. I don't need anything to hurry it on. I just clean up the face on these. I hand drill these. I don't bother using setting up a chuck and all that. It just takes way too much time. And sometimes I'm making these 6, 7 at a time. I've kind of picked up Richard Raffin's production techniques. Come on. There. Yeah, by the way, I get asked all the time if my lathe's still running. So I'll have to tell them to ask one of you guys to verify it still runs.
I just check Facebook all the time. If they charge per picture, you'd be broke.
And now they can just check YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
I've actually had to slow down because after compiling 575 pieces stacked all over the house, the light is starting to say slow down. So I can't turn 4 or 5 pieces again every day, or otherwise I might be getting out here, meetings included. Yeah, I've got, well, it's 575 and counting stacked all over the house. I got a little carried away. Next time I'll pick one without a crack. I'm not standing where I normally would. Now I get to turn that little lip. Hello. About 1/4 inch. Again, you're only putting a 1 to 2 degree paper, and you're going to be constantly testing to make sure this fits on there properly. Look the other way, Sue.
My eyes are beady right now.
Sue can't take a blind eye to safety.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Another bad production habit. Come on, Dave. Okay. A little bit more. I'll slow it down. What I'm wanting to do is put the lid on. It would normally be waxed. And you leave a mark. And it's not very clear without the wax. It's right at the edge. When you go to fit the lid, you don't touch this outer part. You take the corner of your skew, or in my case, I made a tool for doing these. You cut from the back edge and come forward very, very carefully to where your mark is, to where the wood was touching. That'll give you a pot fit where you got a suction fit. Now, I've found with customers, the few that have bought them, they don't like a suction fit because it's too hard to get off. So I usually make them looser. But actually, to do them properly, they should have a suction fit to them. And
Yeah, I make suction fits for other wood turners and
Yes.
looser fits for customers.
yeah, because I usually get this, can you loosen this up? And luckily I use vacuum chucks. I've got a small one I can put a box back in and take 400 grit sandpaper and just carefully sand until it's just a loose fit. And then I re-wax. I really don't like doing that though. I'm kind of proud of my suction fits, but customers are customers. And the customer's always right. You're right. Just a little too tight. Yep, there we go. That way it'll stay on while you do your retouching of the outside profile. The last thing, all right, come on. Yeah, Dave, you did a good job on that. It ain't gonna come off while you're doing work. There. I usually put some tape around it when I go to do my inserts. I do a lot of those with cherry burl, maple burl. I've got a small piece of cherry burl that I make these up ahead of time. They're usually anywhere from 2 inch, 2 3/16 inch diameter. Oh, 1/4, 5/16 thick. And I can inlay them into the lids. And my way of doing it is I would, come on, I'm gonna pinch my finger. I make a jam chuck for this inside. Oh, we might get to see an explosion. I jam chuck the bottom at the very end and remove the tenon. The top, I don't need to make a jam chuck because I'm going to do everything from this point on. That would stay on there. I fixed the profile. I usually round the edges over, put in my insert. And the last thing before I finish the inside, I gotta do something with that, is I touch this edge up to where it comes on an awful lot easier. I'm gonna see if I can finish hollowing this without it coming apart. Oh, I hope so.
You'll be fine.
Good thing you can't see my face. Oof, that's why it's making so much noise. It had a crack inside that I never saw. Ooch, ooch, ooch. Let's see first. Nope, still a little tight. Yeah, I hear you. Changes. There, maybe that's better. Yeah, oh, there we go. Didn't think I had it that tight. There. Now that's the way I usually make them, is just enough suction. When it's waxed, it'll come off fairly easy. Ladies don't like them that way. They claim it's too difficult to get them on and off when they're in a hurry. I don't know why. Ouch, ouch, ouch. These are supposed to be good sellers. I don't know, not in my neighborhood, but I enjoy making them. Sing me. Yep, sing me. Not quite. You just need to get this doesn't have to be perfectly flat. You just don't want a dome in the center. Otherwise, you won't get a good glue matchup. A little more. I don't know how many times I've had to redo the insert because I got a little carried away. Yep. We're taking chances. Oh, I'm so close. Yeah, this is where you don't want to hiccup or sneeze. Otherwise, you have to do it all over. And if you wonder why I've got the dropsies, is my dog gave me bursitis of the right elbow, and I managed to catch my other elbow on the edge of a chainsaw. It wasn't running, but I caught the blade and I looked like I got fed to a lawnmower. So I tend to lose my hold on things. Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's good. Come on. I've had a lot of people ask me if I use wood glue on these or if I use CA. I just use CA glue. I don't see any reason having to wait an hour, 2 hours. The CA glue, it won't come loose if this is fit right, to where it's kind of a wedge effect. Once you push it in there, it's not going to come out. It's going to expand and contract. Burl's real good about that. It will maintain its shape better. All right, where's the top? I'm trying not to bore you folks too much here. I'm sure.
Not boring me.
For wood turners, watching wood turning, there ain't nothing such as being bored.
Well, at least now you folks are getting to see my contraption in operation. And it's, I have yet to figure out a quick change system or quick lock system for the banjo and the tailstock. I just wind it in with my hammer. Just want to make sure it's seated all the way around. Yeah, you were talking about safety and about wearing a face shield. I got another good reason to wear one. I was working on another project last night, and I had CA glued a crack in the wood, and it sat for about 3 hours. And I thought, gee, this ought to be just fine. Well, I didn't put on my safety glasses and I didn't put on my face shield. Shame on me. And just barely touched it with the spindle gouge, and I glued my left eye shut. It's amazing how quick that stuff dries when it hits moisture. Took me about 40 minutes to get my eye unglued so I could see out of it. I don't know why it hadn't. Starbond, I don't know why it didn't seal like it should have, or harden like it should have. But I have to learn things the hard way usually, do dumb things.
We don't learn by our mistakes. What will we learn?
Well, I try not to make the most serious ones. I have to admit, I've had a few experiences on the lathe, safety-wise. None of them involving my eyes. That really scared me. That I could picture myself having a permanently glued left eye, because you can't put acetone on your eyeball and you can't put the debonder on your eyeball. I finally used straight Dawn dishwashing detergent and scalding hot washcloths. And I finally got it loose enough to where I could peel it back open, and lost about half my eyelashes on that eye. But luckily it didn't hurt the eyeball itself. I had a sanding disc come off power sanding about 2 months ago, and I had safety glasses on, and it was a freak. The sanding disc come off the pad, and the lathe flicked it up toward my face. It went right up under the safety glasses and under the eyelid of my right eye, grit down. A couple hours in the eye doctor's office, and, fixed everything right up. I'm now looking for a Trend Pro Air Shield. I'm tired of getting hurt. Let's see if I can do it, stay out of the camera. Well, I won't use that word. My fault. No, it's still there. All right, there it is. Yeah, I don't know if Richard Raffin ever watches this Zoom meetings. I've had conversations with him by email, asking questions when I was wanting to learn all this about boxes. And he's probably shaking his head, wondering who he was talking to. It's not doing too bad. By the way, Eddie, I've got something besides bowls and vases coming up pretty soon.
What might that be, sir?
I've decided to get artistic. I'm designing some, or basically doing reproductions of some ancient Asian type pottery designs. And even with my shaky hands, I'm hand painting the decorations on them. I'll put them on Worldwide Wood Turners first before I put them anywhere else.
All right, thank you.
Well, I'll give you guys first chance to laugh. I mean, some of you might remember my Minoan drinking vessels and things, my octopus. My hands have got a lot worse since then. I'm still gonna try. Okay, that's the insert. Rounded over and sanded. I used, well, I can do that, I guess. It won't block the camera. I usually put a bead around these, 1/8" bead. Just to, I don't know, kind of a decoration to, I don't know, that looks too much like a painted on piece or something. No, this is. Oh yeah. Get this tape off. Yeah, now I see where the crack come through on the bottom. This particular wood come out of a walnut tree that was killed by Roundup. The gentleman with the low IQ was using straight Roundup by the gallon around the base of this tree. And it definitely died. And it also has definitely got, I turned a vase not too long ago and I could actually smell the Roundup. And which was not pleasant. Should have used my blue tape. So you're not allowed to run your lathe or anything, Eddie?
Not at this time. Nope.
Somebody was asking, I forget who it was. Somebody on one of the groups was asking about that. That's too bad. It's,
what you got to do some days, and that's what I got to do. So we bounce back. It's been 8 years since the big tumor thing, and we've bounced back from that. And we're just going to keep bouncing. That's it. No problem.
Well, I wish you all the best, because there's a lot of people that watch for you all the time.
Thank you. I'm not going away. I'm just got to tone it down. That's all.
That's what my wife tells me, but it has nothing to do with turning.
Should have seen the face when I told the guy I did 600 YouTube videos over the years. You did what? So, you know, that made me sparked it up.
I've never done an actual YouTube. A couple of people have told me I should, but I don't think I'm ready for that. I have to polish my style a little bit. I violate too many rules. That's why I don't post too many videos on the groups anymore. I used to do ones like I'm doing now, and I put them on groups, but I was getting in way too much trouble, so I just quit. When I get to turning, I unfortunately have a bad habit of not thinking about anything except the turning. And I don't even notice if I forget to put on safety glasses or a face shield. Plus, when I'm turning where the wood's getting really hot, where I'm hollowing, I have a gel glove I wear on my left hand. It protects burn scars and the fact I had to have my thumb reattached because of a table saw accident. Well, I know gloves aren't good around a lathe, but these are fingerless gel gloves. And I just caught too much static from it. I don't think. I just want to do my thing and get the project done, whatever. And I usually get reminded very quickly. Plus, I have some tools that are not regulation that gets me in trouble too. So I understand they don't want me showing new turners bad habits. So
We don't either.
Huh?
We wouldn't like that either.
Well, you know, I don't do it intentionally. It's just I'm not thinking about that aspect. I'm thinking about the turning, and sometimes I forget what tool I'm using. And I do mentor some people, surprisingly, by PM, and I do make it a point to tell them the safety aspects. If I see them or they're asking me about doing something dangerous, I will be the first one to tell them, don't do it. This is what's going to happen if you do. So I don't want them to learn the hard way. Because sometimes the hard way costs a part of your body. And I found that out. I'm surprised how many lady turners don't put their hair back. I know you folks can't see me, but I have a long ponytail. I'm one of the old headbangers from the 60s. That I never forget. I have seen what happens when long hair meets revolving machinery. High school kid got his ponytail caught in a drill press. He looked like he was joining an Indian group. He had a huge bald patch on one side of his head. Took all the hair right out. Skelping. I don't mind though. If people call me out on it, they see me doing something wrong. I understand. Sometimes I smoke a cigar when I'm at the lathe. I've been called on that. A lot of times it's just hanging out of my mouth. It's not lit. I'm trying to quit cigars. And it's like I'll stick one in my mouth unlit. Just to pacify the urge. My wife says I go insane when I try and quit smoking. I didn't know I had that far to go. Why did I do that? And I noticed some of you will probably notice I'm turning fairly fast with my sanding. I got in the habit of doing that quite a while ago. I found myself making more scratches than less by going slower. It's like I was hesitating. And so I started speeding up the lathe a little bit, and I'm getting a lot less deep scratches, just the finer ones to get out. Now this is where the bottom and the top meet. See if I can see that. Yeah, there it is. Because it won't show up at real high speed. By the way, this is a D-way beading tool. They make them from 1/16 up to 1/2. And these things are slicker than sliced bread. I love these things. Super easy to make a bead. I've done a lot of basket illusion stuff, and after you do about 6,300 squares, you qualify to be an insane and blind. All right. I'll leave that on here. That's the two beads that meet. Oh, there. This is abrasive paste I make myself. The stuff around here, our woodcraft is, if it carries anything, it's way more expensive than you'll find elsewhere. Ours tends to be very high priced. Your finger. I
Mhm. See if it- There.
Just everyday toothbrush. The only way I found other than popsicle sticks to get the excess out of the grooves. And sometimes the popsicle stick, if you aren't careful, it burns. Kind of like a hot wire type deal. Man, I had it 67 degrees in here when I started this. It is now probably about 80 in here. Wow. I don't like summer. Living here in Northwest Ohio is an experience that I could do without.
David, where do you live at?
Northwest Ohio, little town called Fayette, aka DFE.
Fayette.
If I'd have known what this town was like when we were looking at this house, I wouldn't have moved here. I think there's a country western song that says stuck in the 50s. That's what these people are. They're stuck in the 50s. Okay, there's the lid with the burl in it, the bead, and it's all polished and waxed. Now you know why I didn't go any deeper. I didn't realize that big crack was in that wood. It doesn't show on the outside. Oh, God, I'm glad it didn't blow up. I'll just do a square lip on this so I can do the bottom. Sometimes I can get it to fit in my chuck. Sometimes. That's something that making these boxes, they can kind of get addictive. I've got, I think I got about 210 of those on shelves sitting around here of various sizes, some of them pretty large. You could store spaghetti in them. My wife just don't see the humor in it though. Yeah, Yeah, I'm not gonna take that all the way to the bottom because I don't want to demonstrate a blow up. That. I didn't know it was there. Let's see if it's just, will it make it? I'll be darned. It's gonna hold. Too much overhang.
Dave, can you tell us what speed you're turning at?
What speed? I'm at 850 right now. I can't see my RPM thing sitting at 325.
Yeah, what if yours had RPMs or not? I can't hear you.
I have two pulleys that I can use. Right now I'm running on what I call my low speed pulley. It goes from 250 to 850. Then if like I'm doing my basket illusion beading, I switch over to the 4-inch pulley, and that one will go upwards of 3,000. I usually turn beads at 2,000. You get a cleaner cut in the wood, but normally I won't use that. Bowls, well, I've got some bowls I do 1,500 on, but hollowing I'm usually about 600-700. So I usually stay on the low pulley. So this goes up to 850. That's plenty fast. It's enough to get you in trouble if you got a crack like on this one. It'll definitely get you in trouble. Yeah, it's not. I've had only a couple of blow-ups. I had one piece, well, probably about 5-6 pounds, hit me dead in the sternum at about 600 RPM. I was scared to death I was going to have the hiccups for 3 or 4 days after that, because well, that would have hurt. Yeah, it hit hard, really bad.
And what's the grit sandpaper you're using?
I start at 100, go to 120, 180, 220, not a 400, so I'm going to 500. I end up at 600. It's there's a jumping grits there toward the end, but I need to make an order to Cling Spores to get me some more of this bargain box Velcro back sandpaper. I really like it. It works really, really well. And if I get in a jam and need some discs, I can punch out or cut some 2-inch oversized discs to put on my pads until I can get my next order. Because usually my pads, they're 2-inch pads, but I use 2 3/8 disc on them for the overlap. I usually buy the scalped ones from Woodturner's Wonders. The Green Wave, they've been working really well. By the way, these little pieces of pad, they're a white polishing pad that automotive shops use for polishing new paint jobs. There's no grit on them. They're just woven, I don't know, I guess nylon, I guess. I use them for applying the abrasive paste. There's a roll. But they last a long time, and I've had trouble with paper towels. I got some Scott brand paper towels here a while back. Had metal flakes in them. Of course, I discovered that after it ripped a finish up on one of my pieces. Turned out the wife had got like 4 rolls in a package. Every single one of them had little metal chips in it. See, I press in on the wax very, very hard. I put it on heavy, and when I'm taking it off, I'm pressing very hard to actually melt it and get it into the pores of the wood. So when I buff it, it's a nice solid layer. I don't know how well you can see this. That's what the outside looks like on a finished box that I do. Unfortunately, on the inside,
Gorgeous.
I'm chicken to do the inside, I'll tell you. That crack, if I'd known that crack was there, I wouldn't have turned this piece, I'll tell you. That's a bad one. It's the big one in the lid. I was probably within 3/16 of where this insert would be seated. And the bottom one, it's crazy. It does not show on the bottom of the box. But if you look in there, oh yeah. One little catch with a scraper, and that one's going to be on the moon. But I make little ones like this. There was a gentleman on one of the groups. There was 7 young ladies that, oh, how can I say it? It's a home. God, I don't want to. For the challenged, I guess that's about as polite as I can put. I can't really talk like that. I donated a bunch of boxes to them, and I made a lot of little ones like this for their trinkets. Some of them I put little brass knobs on, which I usually turn my own little knobs here on the lathe. I think that was the highlight last year, is when I was able to give those girls. I ended up sending them 2 packages full. It was so nice to have somebody that, you know, really liked them and appreciated them. It's like that box right there. If it was totally finished, not cracked inside, here in my, I might get $2 for it.
Oh man,
that's
awful.
Yeah, I would probably be offered $2 for that, no more.
No. That thing is gorgeous.
I've got $200 bowls that I've been offered $15 for.
Wow.
Wow, that's awful.
And see, where I live, the arts and crafts shows around here have a price point of about $10 to $15. Well, it's other than some needle cases, little needle boxes. There's not much that I have that, you know, would be in that price range. All the big shows are a lot further south of me, Lima, Dayton, Columbus, and they're, what do they call those? Cloud production shows, where a 12 by 12 floor space costs you about $300.
Oh my goodness.
So,
yeah, that's pretty normal for a big city show like that.
yeah, I used to be on years ago, I used to make jewelry boxes from exotic woods with little secret hiding places all inside and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to be on an art and craft show circuit in Ohio and Michigan. I guess I got kind of spoiled because an average weekend was $1,000.
Wow.
Yep.
I had one-day shows where I made $1,000. Those days are gone. Most of those shows are gone. They no longer hold them. I guess it was just something.
Well, they got saturated. The markets got saturated. There was too many of them. And
well, yeah, I was doing one a week for 3 years. And I finally had to quit. I was putting in 18 hours a day to have more product for the next show.
Yep. Yeah, it's a death march.
Yeah. And it was starting to, I was falling asleep at the bandsaw. It was just getting ridiculous. And I had to quit. My favorite show had closed. It was called Findlay Ghost Town down in Findlay, Ohio. Set in an old, they had log cabins, all that kind of stuff. And they usually had, 250 vendors. And I could go in there and set up at 8 o'clock in the morning and half my stock was gone by 9:30.
Oh my goodness.
And I used to take anywhere up to 300 of my jewelry boxes at a time. I had a lady from Marathon that used to drop $500-600 just on gifts for her bosses and stuff at Marathon Oil.
So I got spoiled. I did. I got spoiled, and now I'm rather depressed, you could say, because, you know, I had a gallery I was in Sylvania, Ohio, not far from here. But she was getting up in age, and she retired and sold the place. And that was the only gallery anywhere that would take wood. None of the galleries in Toledo, Ohio will take wood. They don't consider it art.
Oh my goodness.
They consider it a craft.
Yeah, those Toledo people are kind of.
I did.
Let's be civil. Let's be civil.
I was going to say, I'd get in trouble if I gave my true opinion. I mean, at one time I lived in Toledo. Oh yeah.
David, I live about 2.5 hours southwest of you, and the pricing around here and the sales around here is not very well either. I do maybe 2-3 good shows a year.
Y'all might have much better luck if you were able to move it online into something like Etsy or through Facebook Marketplace or something like that. My sales on there are a lot better than they ever were at shows.
Wait, what, on Etsy?
Not on Etsy. I haven't had much luck on Etsy. Facebook is my avenue, but there are people who put a lot of time and effort into their Etsy stores, and they do pretty well too. So.
Well, I've been thinking about trying it. My only fear is I'll spend more time sitting on the computer loading up pictures and answering people's questions than I will turning.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to succeed with an online presence, you have to put the time in. That's the bottom line. Whether it's Etsy or Facebook or whatever you do, you got to put the time in.
I'll be back to 18 hours a day, turn all day, and work, do computer all night.
Well, my problem, my issue is I try to do it like this because if I get too tired to turn, I can still work on the computer. And if I get too tired to turn, then I'm unsafe in the shop because I'm fatigued. But you know, working on the computer, there's no real danger in that. You know what I mean?
I thought it was kind of cute when, well, I shouldn't say cute. I did laugh at it. Safety Sue, when she was reading that thing about staying in the shop, avoiding people, you know, the mental attitude. Yeah, I live in my shop. I never go more than 20 minutes from home. And I do it very quickly because I don't want to be out in the public. I don't have much tolerance for stupid people. And
I understand completely.
Yes, me too.
There's plenty of them out there.
Oh yeah, by the
have,
droves.
You'd have trouble in public right now.
Yes.
I used
The
to
older I
be.
get, the more I stay at home.
Yeah, I used to be a people person, but people ruined it.
mm-hmm.
And
The
there's
older we get, the less intimidation there is for life in prison.
Right.
I do give it serious consideration at times. Where I live, these people, they still think Lincoln's president.
Yeah.
Well, he's not?
Yeah, okay.
When did that change?
I wish he was president.
Right.
Would be better off.
All right.
But
David, we're going to move on if we don't have any more questions from members here. We have some gallery lined up.
Oh, okay.
Great demo, David. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you, David. It was.
I hope I didn't make a fool out of myself.
Oh,
you did.
great.
Oh, it's a great
Doug
demo.
Miller's
I was
beautiful
glad to
box.
see that machine work.
Great job, David.
Good
Great
job,
job.
David.
Yes, folks, what you saw was a man turning on a machine he made himself. And we showed those photographs a while back of the different views of his machine and how he built it up. might be in one of our newsletters. But he took the bull by the horns, built him a lathe that he could work with, and that's a wood turner. You ain't holding him back. All right, I'm Captain Eddie Castle, and you're tuned in to worldwidewoodturners.org. And each week we meet, and we'd like to invite your friends to join us and your club members. There's no restrictions, no limitations, no fees, no money. We have the quickest financial recap in the world. Done. So if you'd like to join us, do so. And right now we're going to go to the gallery because I see a couple of folks have popped in and told Brenda, who's handling our gallery tonight, that they have some items to show. Brenda, who's up?
Well, first of all, we got Doug Miller would like to add a safety tip.
Yeah, just real quickly, and we've talked about this before, but it just brought to my attention this past week. Was watching through a couple of videos, and they just kind of go from one to the next. Can't even tell you the guy's name. He was doing did a pretty good job with what he was doing, but he had one safety habit that was really bothering me, and I almost turned him off. His tool rest was there, and his hand was going over it with his thumb on top of the tool. His hand was literally between the wood and the tool rest. I was scared to death. The pucker factor was way high. And why I didn't turn it off, he was doing a nice job other than that. But I was scared to death for him, afraid that some novice turners or some new turners, I guess is a better term, might see that and take up that practice. It was scary. It was scary. I can't imagine. So
yeah, I can't either.
That's all I need to say.
That scares me, and I ain't afraid of nothing.
Yeah, that's there was a guy that did a demonstration. He posted this on YouTube. He did a demonstration where he had a bowl blow up, and it took out the lights above his lathe, put a hole in the wall, and all this. And he still showed it, and he was laughing about it when he showed it. And I'm thinking, okay, you can tell somebody to be safe, but don't show them you being unsafe. That's it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That, and I was going to bring that up next week because you see a lot of people online put their hands over the tool rest, or they'll put them under the tool rest thinking it's safe so that they can do some very thin finials. Either way, your fingers are at stake. Your hands are at stake.
In the danger zone.
Exactly.
Yes.
Thanks, Doug.
Yes, good tip.
Yeah, absolutely. It was just something that caught my attention this past week, and that I was afraid. Yeah, and just I know we've talked about it some, but this one was just so bad. I just felt like it needed to be brought up again.
Yes.
Good. Thank you, Doug.
I've got something
Understood.
else
We
along
do.
that same line.
Could I say something?
Go ahead, David.
I've been watching this demonstrations for quite a while now. My theory is that if you have your cutting edge within a quarter of an inch of whatever you're cutting, you would never get anything in behind the tool.
Right.
And so the thing is, that's where you have less catches, because of the fact that your tool is closer, or your rest is closer to your part, so that you won't go boom.
Yes.
And your tool will have a chance to cut instead of jamming.
And your
Very true.
And your fingers can't fit back here.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, David.
Say something as a follow-up on what Doug was saying. You spotlight me.
Gotcha.
Well, we see you.
One thing that I've seen people do is when they're sanding, it's a good idea to take your tool rest out, put it out of the way, instead of having your tool rest up there and be sanding, because you can have your hand get caught with the sandpaper and get stuck in between the wood and the sandpaper. and mess up your hand. And also another thing, if you have fluorescent lights in your shop, it's a good idea. You can go to like any of the big box stores, and they'll sell clear plastic tubes that fit over those fluorescent light bulbs. So if something flies up and hits one of them, it doesn't shatter all over the place.
That's a good idea.
I've had
Yeah,
that happen.
because it is instinct for you to look up and see what happened. And when you look up, that's about the time, that split second when that piece is coming at you.
Uh-huh. And those bulbs will just shatter all over the place if they don't have that plastic tube around them.
That's why I've switched to LED lights because they're not so fragile.
Uh-huh.
I did too. I'm shocked about how bright they are and how useful they are.
Oh yeah, they're too bright.
Yeah, I picked
I've
up
never been
from
accused of being
Amazon.
too bright.
I picked up some from Amazon, and I got a pack of 6 4-foot lights, and I have that's one right there behind me over my work table. I have one over my lathe and one over this table. But we got 6 for $49.
Wow.
That's 6 4-foot lights with chains and hooks and everything else. $49 from Amazon. And when I ordered them, my wife said they might be crappy, trashy. She's got 5 in her studio. Yeah.
Amazon will take them back if you don't like them.
Yeah. Well, I'm the return king at Amazon. I mean, they got my picture on the wall and everything, because if it's the slightest bit, it's like going to the grocery or the hardware store.
That's the post office, Eddie, not Amazon.
Hey, I saw Billy.
What I meant is they're too bright if you're working outside at night, because I got a shop under a carport and it's really bright, so ambient sunlight is better.
Yes. All right. I see Billy in the audience out here tonight. Billy has been under the weather a little bit. Billy, how you feeling, bud?
I'm good. Better all the time. Still have this stupid COVID cough, but I'm probably going to have that for a while, according to my wife. She had the same thing I'm just getting over back in the end of June, first part of July, and she still got the going on. So, but other than that, I'm good. I'm no more. I'm not too much. I'm keeping my lungs out of the shop this week, but I'm planning on hitting it hard and heavy next week.
I couldn't believe you mowed your lawn and trimmed that tree back while you were sick.
I did. I had to. I just I couldn't stand looking at it anymore. I just it was bogging. It bogged my tractor down. It was a foot tall in places, and it was just I just couldn't stand it. I had to do it, Sue.
Like, oh my
goodness. Hey, let's go see Matt Harbor. Matt, what you got to show us?
Well, about 2 weeks ago, I did my club demo, and I was doing finials for them. So these are 2 of my practice ones.
Oh, cool! Beautiful.
So now
very nice.
I have a 1/4 inch wrench, and I use that to make these a 1/4 inch, the little tenons on the bottom. So I standardize the wrench is just checks to do the this one here, the top broke off while I was playing with it, and this is the one I did in the demo.
Oh, very nice.
Nice.
And then we did a workshop the week afterwards, and this one I did in the workshop.
Wow. What
nice
wood
too.
were you using?
What's that?
What wood are you using?
Well, the first 3 were box elder because I had that laying around. These 3 are box elder, and this one here is hard maple.
Looks like a good demo to me.
Yeah, and I'd be happy to do it. One of the things I love about the hard maple is it's really it makes for a real good ebonizing thing. So I ebonize this one. This one is also hard maple, And I really like Bob Moffat's natural edge roof, so I did one of those.
That's a nice birdhouse.
Cool.
Beautiful.
So this one I did like sort of as an exercise, and it was laying around the shop. So I ebonized it with just that spirit stain and stuck it on the bottom of this.
Very nice.
So that's all I had.
Thank you, sir.
Then. Thank you.
Turned out
Let's see
nice.
if we can find Charlie Bundy.
I'm right
Charlie.
here.
Charlie, where you at?
I'm right here. Always been
Can't
here.
find you. I can't see you.
There he is.
Oh,
There he is.
Oh, that's Sue. Oh, there I am.
There he is.
Charlie, I've been cleaning the shop for the last week and getting rid of the small pieces. I made a couple of bird houses.
Sweet.
Oh, y'all are racing the barbecue pile.
You see the eye in that one?
Yes. What kind of wood is that?
This is apple wood, the top and bottom.
That is pretty.
Very
So
nice.
that's the eye of the bird instead of the eye of the tiger, huh?
Yep.
Nice, Charlie.
I don't know, Bob. You
Another
better
one.
look out, man. They're coming after you, buddy.
Oh, very nice.
Oh, I love that.
Beautiful.
Same
That's
wood?
The bottom is box elder. The top, I think, is more apple wood. I'm not sure what the birdhouse itself is.
It's beautiful.
Yes, very pretty. And you got another one.
And I have the last one.
There
Same thing. The bottom is 2x6 Douglas fir. The top is apple. I'm not sure what like I said, I was just cleaning and getting rid of small stuff.
We might have to start a birdhouse club.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I made a
Birdhouse
box.
club.
Nice.
Very nice.
Vaulted maple.
That's pretty.
No, this
Yeah.
is spalted oak.
Oh, nice.
Even the inside shines.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah, look at that shine. Did you use 3408 on that?
No, I used it's the general salad bowl finish.
Okay.
It's very pretty.
That is pretty. Nice.
Then last but not least,
Oh, nice.
last year we had a storm come through. And it would have took 3 people to put their arms around this tree to go all the way around it.
Oh
It
my.
was a box elder tree. I got most of the wood.
Wow.
I made this bowl to give to the gentleman and his wife for giving me the wood.
Very nice.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Very.
They will like that.
Oh yeah.
That's
If they
all.
don't, you can send it to me.
Okay. If you turn it down, I'll send it to you.
Okay. All right. Let's see if we can find Greg Bray.
Here I am.
He's right there.
It's been a while since I got in the shop and turned, but here's a little vase. This was Dane Chandler visit last spring and brought me some mesquite, and this is the first mesquite I've ever turned. So
I really like
Yeah.
where the sapwood is on
It's
that.
pretty close to here.
That
I
is
wish you'd
beautiful.
brought me some.
He's got
Yeah.
another bowl too.
I don't know where we were the week he said he was what his rope was going to be. He'd stop. He said, "I want wood for wood. I'll bring all kinds of mesquite." I
So
want
that's
wood for wood."
that's all I've turned for a while because I've had some illness.
Yeah, but that's beautiful.
That's really pretty. The sapwood is gorgeous in that.
Yeah, it is. It
The
is.
sapwood makes that.
Yeah, anytime you get a oblong piece, you can keep the sapwood in the shorter pieces. So when I seen that, I said, man, I can keep the sap in that. So that's why I turned it that way.
That's gorgeous.
You did a nice job. It's a pretty piece.
Thank you.
It is.
Very
Right.
nice.
We're doing gallery tonight, folks. You have something to show. It's so easy. You go in the chat and say, I have something to show, just like this guy did. All right, you got to talk.
Am I up?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Friend of mine had bought a well, I can't even think of it. Anyway, can't even think of the wood. What they use on battleships, the wood on battleship.
Teak.
Yeah, teak. Yeah, he brought a piece of teak burl and wanted me to turn something. So I used the burl part up here. And anyway, and you talk about dulling your tool. Now, teak will certainly dull your tool. So it's I guess a little chalice or whatever. I don't know. I don't know if you see that tell too much about it or not. But
yeah, it's beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
Some awesome grain.
And it, somewhere along the line they had tried to burn this thing, so it had some black stain from trying to be burned. Guess it wouldn't burn too well. Anyway, I had a piece of a walnut limb.
Wow.
And my wife said, well, it looks like football. So I made a little tee, to kick it off.
I hope you didn't try to kick it.
Yeah. But it had a hole in it. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Had a hole in it. So instead of putting the finial up here, and I couldn't put it down here for the tee, I put it inside. So let me see what I can do here. I don't know if you can see this or not.
Oh man.
Oh, wow.
So I got some glitter and put on a piece of holly and then inserted that up inside the hollow piece. Can y'all see that? Let me turn the light on.
Yeah.
Let me turn that light on.
That is the coolest thing I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, that's
That
really
is
cool.
awesome.
Cool.
Anyway,
Is there a light?
I got these little screen lights, with the battery. And so I got those. I don't know if you can see them. They're
Okay, yeah.
I hot glue on the inside. That was fun because that hot glue gets pretty hot, and when you're putting it in there with your finger, it burns pretty good. But anyway.
Well, that is
pretty cool.
But that's natural edge. It was just kind of a hollow log, and couldn't figure out exactly how to do it. But anyway, I don't know.
You did it. You did it fine. You did it.
Looks great, Howard.
Yes.
That's gorgeous.
You did it
Okay.
justice.
Well, thank you.
Has anyone else harvested brass shavings from Home Depot? I just did yesterday.
Yeah, I have. I had one of my. I left a box at one of my local hardware stores and got all the key shavings. This is years ago, and glued them all as an inlay into a bowl rim.
It comes out nice.
I started using some on a table slab I'm working on, but I have them in a ball mill right now because they were kind of too stringy, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, you can shred them a little bit more. You can cut them up, or you can pound them or whatever. But yeah,
You can ruin the wife's little spice grinder while you're doing it.
David, you stole my fire. David, you stole my fire. A friend of mine bought a whole bunch of those spice grinders at a red, white, and blue surplus store, and he blows up all kinds of things in it. I mean, and brass is one of them. You just put it in and pulverize it. The grinder doesn't like it, but he'll pulverize it.
Yeah, I probably need a coffee grinder for each task, but for now they're in the ball mill, rolling around.
Get some old brass slumbing fittings and file them down.
What'd you say, Charlie?
Get old brass plumbing fittings and file them down.
Yeah, and if you can get
Sounds
old
like a
brass
lot of
plumbing,
work.
yeah.
Well, or you can,
A
I
lot
mean,
of
you
work.
can, you can buy brass and aluminum powder too. You know, if you don't want to deal with the shavings, just deal with the powder. I mean, that's what I've done. You guys have seen the ones that I've inlaid, those medallions and stuff.
Yep. And
They
copper.
sell that they sell that product at Hobby Lobby. So,
Yep.
and it's online at Amazon, of course.
Of course. Hey, let's
All
find Gary
Who we got?
in Oklahoma.
Gary.
I know there's different people that use the DEF sanding sealer, and I've used it now for some time out of the quart can, and getting tired of having to clean brushes and things like that for small projects. Well, about 3 months ago, Matt mentioned about getting the aerosol cans of it, and nowhere was it available. Well, I have now found, after about 3 months of working with this one company, if anybody's interested, I'll put the link. You've got to buy 6 cans. That's one of the small cases, but it looks like the aerosol version of the lacquer sanding sealer DEF is finally back available. So if somebody's interested, holler and I'll post it.
Yeah, I found it at the PPG paint supplier here.
And that's the manufacturer, and it seems like they've been out forever. And finally, I guess they must have produced another batch.
Yep. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it, Gary. And we have all the information on chat. And if you haven't saved the chat like I did just now, I saved the chat, but I shouldn't tell you that because Donald in Australia will tell you when we wrap up, save the chat. And because there's a ton of information there. Now, we talk about that each week, or I talk about it each week. Our chat is reclaimed off the website by our master webmaster, Dave Rhodes, and Dave's left for the evening. Dave takes the chat and puts it into our website. So they're all there. Now, if you put something in that's particularly personal, like you want to be on the contact list, etc., David will remove that before he posts it, because our contact list is handled totally separate. The contact list is a voluntary thing. If you wish to be part of it, all you do is go to chat and you insert the information that you wish to have on a contact list. You can put that I'm Gary, and where I live at, and my phone number, or my email, or my website, or my Facebook page, whatever you decide to put on that contact list, you can put there. And how do you get a copy of it? That's just as easy. Under contact on our website, there's a little block at the top. It says member list. You click on it and you fill out the form exactly as it requests. Exactly as it requests. And the subject is Captain, capital C, APTAIN, capital C, APTAIN. And then you put the script in the block that it asks for. And then you unclick a block on the bottom, and you've requested the contact list. It will be emailed to you. It's the way to stay in touch. Like somebody a little while ago said, throw my phone number up. Was it Sue that said put my phone number up, and Brenda on my email up and did it? All those folks are in our chat list. So if you like to have that, to contact them. And we've made it a little difficult to get because we want to make it hard for the bots. You know what the bots are. If your phone rings every 15 minutes and it says scam likely, you know, that same thing happens when you get on a bot list. You'll advertise everything. And I swear, my laptop hears me talk about something. I mentioned I fixed my mom's sewing machine, and today I had an ad from a sewing machine replacement part company. I don't know how that happens, but you know, I'm sure they're out there. Big Brother's got us bugged. That's it. Oklahoma City, it's not available in Ace, Home Depot, or Lowe's. No, it's not going to be available in the big box stores. They can't make a deal with the manufacturer to package a whole bunch of stuff and get it in easier to the stores and distribution points than some of the other brands of products. and they all make a pitch to Home Depot or Lowe's, etc. And a friend of mine, Jim Galloway, is that main buyer at Home Depot, one of them. And he told me, he said, they'll come in and make this pitch, and to make the deal, because we're a big box store, we will eliminate other products to bring in these products. And that's where a whole bunch of items that used to find at Lowe's and Home Depot are gone. It's not they're out of business. It's just not profitable for big box stores to stay in the business. PPG Paint makes it. And most of this stuff we're talking about is available through Amazon. Now I used to get my depth sanding sealer by buying 4 cans in a case at the Ace Hardware store on the corner. They would order it from me. Or I could buy a single can through Amazon and have it shipped to me. So it is out there, just how hard you can be looking.
The problem has been for me, the spray cans are where the problem is. Everybody's got the quart cans, but you talk to them about the spray, what is it? I don't even know what it is. What it seems to.
Klingspor sells it in spray cans.
Who does?
Klingspor, Klingspore.
Okay, that must be an online because it's not around where I am.
Well, it's mostly.
They're only online.
Okay.
Yeah, well, you can go online, or they've got some stores in North Carolina.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't find it, so this one company worked with me about every 10 days or so. I would check in with them. They would check with their master wholesaler. No, they say it's another 10 days they expect it. Well, that went on for almost 3 months. And finally, she calls me, hey, it's back in stock. So it's en route right now.
Okay, Bob put it in the chat that it's Klingspor, and he put their name in there. They are a great source for sanding materials, and they do these combo boxes. I'm going to warn you about that. Their combo box can go from maybe 2 grit to 1,000 grit, and it's all going to be in that box. And a lot of it is made for industrial sanders and platform sanders and large disc sanders, etc. Some of it's useful. I still have a box full of it out there. So I'm a little picky on sandpaper. I won't buy a hardware store sandpaper. It just ain't gonna scratch
Klingspor's
my
gold
wood.
sandpaper is real good. They're gold.
Yeah, and I see if you pick a product, you do all right. I'm talking about the bargain box.
What were you saying, Bob? Which one's good?
They're gold sandpaper.
Okay.
I use that a lot.
Yeah, I agree with that. I buy that directly from Klingspor's shop, also online, and use it a lot. It's one of my favorites. It's a great sandpaper.
Yeah,
that's
top quality stuff.
That's last time I ordered from them, they just had like a flat $8 shipping. So I ordered like a case of the sanding sealer, and it was just $8 to ship it. I couldn't drive there for that.
Okay.
You know, that's one thing for the new folks that are on the call that may not have had a lot of experience with sandpaper, but cheap sandpaper is not cheap. You'll go through 4 times as much of that to get the same thing done as one quality sheet.
That's very true,
right.
Dean.
Mm-hmm.
I learned my lesson there some years ago.
Oh yeah, I had to learn mine that way too.
We all did.
Experience, that's what you get about 15 seconds after you needed it, you know?
What do they say? They say experience comes from making bad decisions, and
yes,
the bad decisions teach you how to make good decisions.
Exactly.
Hopefully they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and I remember early on having cheap sandpaper come a part of my hand while I was sanding something on the lathe. I was like, what the hell? You know, it's like...
Yeah, and I look for it to be waterproof. I mean, it's got to be water resistant. I do not want total paperback sandpaper because there's water here, there's moisture here, there's moisture in the air, and at some point it will deteriorate. Might be great going on your pad sander or whatever, but we don't do pad sanders. I'm a great fan of the medium fair product. I don't want the exotics. I don't want the trash. I when the medium fair product, and it only sands if you're generating sanding dust. It only sands if it's doing that. If you stop generating dust, your paper is dead. DEE, dead, dead, dead. And get away from it, because that point you might be making it smooth, but you're burnishing it, and the burnish will not hold the finish the same as a smooth piece. And I remember a world-renowned ornamental turner, Gorse Duplessis, taking a piece of 1,000 grit paper and passing it across something he turned, and you'll see the fine fines coming off of it. And he said, that is sanded. And he was right. And when he put the finish on, it was magic. Chatoyance comes out, it feels better, it looks better, and it lasts longer. So, all right, we got about 5 minutes to go. If we have any more gallery tonight, we'll pop in and look at it. I got one warning on here. Tim Hatch said, be careful of scams. His son got taken from someone claiming to be Amazon customer service. They hooked him. They did. Here's the deal. We're all adults, right? Aren't we old enough? Yeah. Do you ever give your account number for anybody, for anything? Your bank,
Nope.
your routing number on your check account number, your MasterCard number, your Medicare number. If it's legitimate, they have the information. They should be able to give it to you rather than you give it to them. Be aware, we're all old enough to avoid that trap, but
Hey,
then
Eddie.
some folks are old enough not to avoid it. Oh,
Hey,
look,
show
I
my-
like those flowers.
Let me show my vase again real quick, since I showed it kind of early this morning, today.
Oh, that's
I love
nice.
that, Brenda. It looks beautiful.
Yeah, that's gorgeous.
That's beautiful.
I thought it
Yeah.
turned out pretty good.
When I saw Greg Bray's the submittal tonight of gallery tonight, I immediately went back to thinking about yours. Immediately.
Well, I don't know what you see in that, but I see your computer screen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, ain't that nice? How do you do that, Brenda?
3408, Eddie.
3408.
Brenda, you can go on the contact list and get my address and send that to me.
Sorry, I made that for my sister-in-law.
You lost your contact list, isn't that rough?
Sorry,
All right.
Bob. Family first.
Yeah, yeah.
It's pretty.
Thank you.
It is a beautiful piece.
Bob, you're
And
gonna
don't
have
get
to
us
make
started.
a vice president of the Birdhouse Club before she's gonna give you something like that.
Yeah. I think we should bring back the 2x4 club. Really, I mean, you saw that finial tonight, that tailpiece on that birdhouse done out of 2x6. But it was a joke a couple of years ago. Ronnie Bonnet started us with that turning 2x4, and we harped on it forever because it's a great way to practice cutting. It is.
That's so expensive.
Yeah. Well, and you won't find drops anywhere. That isn't going to happen anymore. So, but to elaborate on that, if you're cutting 2x4, cheap pines, SYP or whatever, if your tool is not sharp and you're not presenting it properly, it will tear out. If your tool is sharp and you're presenting it properly, it's two things, right? Presenting it properly, you can slice. And when you slice that 2x4, it'll look as good as anything you'll ever turn. No tear outs or anything else. And when I say no tear outs, how much sanding do you really want to do? We don't sand the shape, we sand the finish. So, all right. I'll remind you again that if you want to do a demonstration for us, Bob Moffett will sign you up in a heartbeat. He hasn't missed a chance. I think he did 4 tonight. We're all in this together. We're sharing information on wood turning, and when our members see something done by another member, they want it to be part of what we do. And no matter what, I mean, you saw David's demo tonight done on his telephone, on his iPhone. Showed it to us, and it was a very good demo, good presentation, and that's all you need. And you can be live with it. I've done it on my iPad. I've done it on my main desktop. All all those operations, all those computers and phones and all have the ability to do it. Take advantage of it and do a demonstration for us. And a couple of weeks, we will do the tips and tricks again. And I give you fair warning on that because don't miss that one. Don't miss it. I'm pretty sure Jim Duxbury is going to run the show again for us. Because he looks around the shop and says, oh, you know what I got? You ain't got? Here. And it was very good, educational. I came with a page full of notes and ideas. And then I had to go find stuff I knew I built like that I just totally, like the hole that Bob Grinstead showed us tonight. I built one years ago because I couldn't afford to pay anybody for something I could weld in my shop. And that's what I did, just welded it out in my own shop. And somebody tonight included that the miniature wood turner, what's his name? Tim Yoder, the miniature one. He showed a demonstration where he was cutting the little inserts like David used tonight. He would take a hole saw in his drill press and he'd block the piece down on top of the drill press, take the drill bit out of the hole saw, and then press out the ring that you want on the hole saw with the hole saw. I've done that in the past, and then I will immediately take it over to the lathe and double stick it with sure tight double stick tape. And be careful about that stuff, because if you don't put a relief groove in it, you can't get it back off. Put it on there and true it up and face it all on a double stick tape, and then put your bar in a relief tube and pull it off. And you've got one of those little medallions to put in. And the fun thing about that is you can put a medallion in a medallion in a medallion. And if you don't get them all concentric, eccentric works really nice. So it's something you can play around with. We'll do a whole lot of that and more right here on worldwidewoodturners.org. Visit our website, invite your friends, and above all else, according to Sue Jilek, stay safe. Right, Sue?
That's right. Stay safe, everyone.
All right. We'll see you next
Donald
week, folks.
What's Donald going to tell us?
See you next week. Night, everybody.
Donald said, save the chat.
Night, all.
Save the chat.
Don't forget to save the chat.
Good night, all.
Good night,
Y'all
everybody.
take care.
Have a great
Be
week.
safe.
Stay safe.
Y'all have a good night. Have
Had
a
a
good
great time tonight, you guys.
YouTube. I will try and get back more often. Miss y'all.
We
Hey,
miss you,
Professor.
dude.
Hey.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, Doug.
Night, folks.
Pulling the plug. Good night.
Good night, Captain.
Thank you.